What is up, Antonio? How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you, Roy?
I'm doing excellent. Guys, everybody, welcome to AC Milan News, a segment we're going to do every day, starting Monday to Friday. Sometimes it's going to be live. Other times we're going to record it. But we have a transfer guru with us, Antonio, always ready with the hot news of the day, the rumors, and all the official news when it's official. So great stuff, great stuff. Also, guys, we set up a Milan chat room. So if you guys want to keep on talking about Milan when there are no broadcasts, you can head over to the chat room and keep on talking to each other. So that is going to be there pretty much until whatever. It's indefinitely. It's always going to be there. So, that is a nice, cool AC Milan space you can visit whenever you want and continue the AC Milan dialogue. Anyway, as for today, Monday, July 26th, let's get into the news. So, Antonio, let's get it started.
All right. So it is July 26th, and a lot of different news sources are reporting that on this day, Makengo and all of the Euro players would come back, and that's partially true. So we have some reports are saying that Makengo and Rebic are back, and they actually were at training. Now, Pioli gave a break to everyone who played at the friendly, because he gave them a 2-day break. So most players are, like I saw on their Instagrams, they went on vacation, probably around Spain. A lot of them go to. So most of them are not at Milanello, but I did see reports that Makengo and the Rebic are at Milanello, and I haven't seen pictures of them yet, but that's what we've been hearing. And then as for Giroud, he should be at training tomorrow, is what I heard. Okay. And we don't know exactly when Kaio is supposed to be at training, but it should be this week. But, he made it to the Euro semifinal, so the coach probably gave him a bit more break. So there's some updates on the players.
Okay, good. So, yeah, I was wondering why I was watching the Instagrams of Theo and some other guys. They're all on the beach, ski, doing water sports. Okay, so now that makes sense.
Yeah, they just probably took like a 2-day vacation. They can afford to travel very quickly, so that's what happened. And then this is just a good segue to Kessie, because he's another player who is at the Olympics right now. Ivory Coast won their first game, and they tied their second game against Brazil. And obviously, there's a lot of good news about Kessie that just came out yesterday that we talked about, that even Fabrizio Romano confirmed that they're in advanced contract renewal talks with him. Okay. And he gave interviews saying he wants to be with Milan forever. He loves it here, and he will try to get the deal done when he comes back from the Olympics. Nice. And just an update on that, he did give in the same interview, I think with the Gazzetta dello Sport, he did say that they asked him about him being fatigued because he's played so many games, and he's playing games now, and he said that he loves to keep playing games, and that that's how he gets better, and that he misses the team, and when he gets back, he'll be ready to go right away. So just great attitude from Kessie.
Awesome. Yes, and that's the kind of words we want to hear from our Milan players. We want to be in the club forever, which kind of shadows the Gigio Donnarumma and Çalhanoğlu thing quite a lot.
Yep, and just about Gigio, because someone put in the chat, I think it was Lucas. Yes, so I just saw that as well. Theo posted a picture, or I think it was Gigio's Instagram posted a picture, and he met up with Theo, and they took a picture together. And it's just very strange to see him not at, they're together, but, they won't be very soon. So I didn't really know what to think about that. But
well, let's see, because Theo is being heavily linked with PSG. So let's also hope it doesn't go that direction either.
Of course. It's just a picture for now. So But all these little things are always scary because with all these links here and there.
Yeah.
Plus, we've experienced it with Gijo and John Oglu this year, so it's got to be enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, okay. The first, this is like transfer news now. So I saw people were talking about, I'm just going to call him Double K.
Okay.
Because, as we know, the Georgian player who plays for Rubin Kazan.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to pronounce his name, but I'm going to call him Double K.
Double K.
Yeah. So there's a lot of news, conflicting news that came out. Basically, what I tried to say yesterday in the chat during the stream and at times were that, so reports in Russia were saying that it was a done deal, of course.
Right.
But there was no confirmation in Italy, which is very suspicious.
Yeah.
So Tutto Sport and Carlo Pellegatti today said that this is – Carlo Pellegatti specifically said it was a hoax totally, and Tutto Sport says that nothing is advanced whatsoever.
Yeah.
So this is basically – it was just all rumors. But then Sky Sport did say that Milan have made inquiries about the player. So appearing here and there like mixed reports, but basically it's nowhere near as advanced as we thought. And yeah, we are definitely scouting him though. If you ask, I believe that we are scouting him. There's a very good chance we've been scouting him.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that he's going to, that anything will escalate from there, but I think that's where they're at right now.
Right. Yeah, Pellegatti said in his report that Pellegatti is well tied to the Casa Milan, and he speaks to the people there all the time. And he said that from Casa Milan, they said that they're not even interested in this player. I don't think that's true. I have a suspicion that this is not true. I think that this is a double what you want to call it. I think that Milan doesn't want to start an auction with other teams with this player. I think they're kind of playing it safe. They're keeping it on the down low because it is strange. This is a player that we were tied with, I think, last transfer market, correct?
In January, I thought.
January, yeah. And then, the whole thing with Kaladze being linked to Georgia. I have a suspicion that this is true, and now they want to keep it on the down low, not to create too much noise. Because, guys, this player is a special kind of player. I'm surprised that bigger teams are not on him yet. They probably are.
Yeah, so I don't know. I would hope that it, like what you say, is true. As of now, the sources in Russia were way off with how close it is. So what we're seeing now is, if you ask me, I would almost guarantee that there is interest. Milan are interested in the player, but closing the deal is not, I don't think it's a priority for them right now. So I think they're much more interested. Their talks have gone on with other players more than with him, but that doesn't mean that eventually they'll start to focus on him, try to close the deal. So we don't know.
Yeah. And Rohit Rajiv, awesome guest of ours, comes often. I love the guy, Rohit. He says, even Georgian Duomo confirmed the KK hoax transfer. So now today the word is this was a hoax. Okay, so let's see how this plays out.
Yeah, the interest is a hoax. Like in context, I don't even think contacts have been made whatsoever, but we have been scouting the player. That's all I'm saying. That's what's confirmed. I would just say.
Let's see how this plays out. I have my doubts about this.
Yep. Okay. The next player to talk about is Kaio George, because this is another player that's crazy news. Everything keeps changing. Yeah. Milan are basically being very firm on their stance. They don't want to increase like their $3 million offer for him, but personal terms are agreed. Now Benfica are entering the race. So there's Juventus, who apparently they want to offer $6 million for him. Benfica are now maybe willing to offer more than Juventus. Yeah. But there's the problem with Benfica is that the player would prefer a move to Italy, basically. So he's not interested in going to Benfica. So the player prefers Milan, but Milan are offering the lowest amount of money for him. So
Of course.
of course, yeah. So it's very difficult for the deal to be closed. So we don't know what's going to happen. Santos could just, I mean, if he stays with Santos, they'd lose him for free in January. So we don't know if he were to, if he just one last thing, if he were to avoid being sold, then I think in January we would secure him for free because he wants to come with us. So
yes, the report's saying that he wants Milan. Again, let's hope those are true. What are the numbers? Do you have any numbers? Like, I think Santos is asking 10 million, right? And Milan is lowball. What is Milan lowballing to?
So I see reports of 2 to 3 million, but I'm guessing 3 million. They're willing to pay 3 million. Basically, they want 10 million. So. And
what about Benfica and Juve? Do you know
Juventus,
what bet?
Yeah, Juventus. I kind of said this a little bit before, but their talks are people are saying that around 6 million is what they're going to offer. And then Benfica apparently are serious about the player, and they can offer even a bit more, like closer to 10 million, is what I've heard.
Oh Lord. Okay. All right. Well, let's see how that one pans out. Again, so this is a non-EU player, and also the Georgian player is a non-EU player. So I'm thinking if it's either one or the other, right? If these two come into the picture.
Yes, but I did kind of on another day I talked about this kind of loophole that could exist where Kaio George may be able to get a Portuguese passport. So if that were to happen, then we can get both of them. But yeah, we don't know if that will actually happen. So
Gotcha.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's. Listen. Personal opinion, guys. I am in love with this Georgian player. The way he plays football. He reminds me of Savicevic. I really want this to happen. Let's see what happens. Anyway, keep on going. Let's keep on going.
And just an interesting piece about him is he's been like under the radar of other big clubs, I believe, like Bayern Munich have looked at him.
There you go.
Like in the past, I have seen reports of those clubs looking at him. Doesn't mean that they're anywhere near getting him, but so he is an interesting player.
And Nathan, another one of our guests, great guy, Nathan. Love the guy, Nathan. He says many sources are saying it's not happening.
If he's talking about the Kaio George. I don't know which one he's talking about.
The Vicha.
Yeah, so right now, like I said, it's not looking anywhere close to being done because all the sources are confirming that there's nothing right now. But the only thing that there is that the club is interested in the player, but they're interested in many, many players. Yeah.
Okay, let's keep on going.
Okay, the next player is Ilicic. This is another.
Ilicic.
This is another player that's kind of the news is just crazy. I've seen reports that say that, like as we saw yesterday, Slovenian news source that said that it was a done deal with a contract already agreed, and that's not looking true whatsoever. He's an option that Pioli would appreciate it from what I've read because he can play attacking midfielder and right wing, but that's just an idea as of now, and there's nothing advanced for Ilicic.
Okay.
We do know that Ilicic would want to go to Milan because he's open to a move because he's a weird relationship in Atalanta, but yeah, that's it.
This Ilicic is kind of similar to this Vicha thing here, but one day they're saying that it's happening for sure. The next day they're saying it's not that sure. Now a lot of people are saying Ilicic is old and he's going towards the end of his career. Not many people are excited about this possible transfer market rumor regarding Ilicic. I personally really like the player, and I think that we still have 2 years of him. Even 1 year. If we can just have him for 1 year, be part of a rotation, need him in certain moments, he doesn't have to play every game. He can come when we need him. So I don't mind this, but it can't just be our solution. it has to be more than just that.
Yeah, the only I would agree with you. Like he would have to just be a rotational player, but the thing is, we already have a lot of these average rotational players, so we'd have to get rid of some of these players. Like definitely Kosti. We'd have to be able to offload all of these players to make room. And
Well, I wouldn't consider Ilicic average, by the way.
No, I don't.
Say.
I don't. He has more quality, of course, but he's not going to be able to play. Of course, he has more quality than Castillejo, so we're going to have to probably offload some of our extra forward players that aren't really contributing as much. And so we'll see if that happens. But I think we'd still need a starting right winger and attacking midfielder. And I'm just worried that if we get Ilicic and we start to see that it's hard to get other players, that we're just going to be lazy and just rely on him. And I hope that doesn't happen because his mentality and his age are factors that are very interesting. And I don't know if he's reliable. So.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, we got Ilicic. Maybe let's see how that goes on. What else you got? Carlo, what's up? We got Carlo in the house.
Yeah. So the next player is Julian Brandt, which we talked about yesterday, and we kind of had mixed opinions. Some people liked him, other people didn't. He's 25 and he didn't have the best season this year. I'm seeing the same news is coming out that there's a 22 million option to buy and then a 5 million loan for 1 year. Which is pretty expensive. These are expensive figures for a player who hasn't had the best season, and he's not super young. So it's very strange, like a 27 million total deal, and that's probably because Dortmund are a pretty big club, so they want to be getting money for their investments. But the new piece of news that I'm seeing is that there may be an option to include Leao in some sort of deal with Dortmund because. Apparently, Dortmund have been interested in Leao in the past, so this could happen. But I don't know. I think it'd be really risky. So there's nothing advanced whatsoever. This is just ideas.
Yeah. Okay. So historically, German players in Italy do really well. Historically, you can see Gosens right now having a great season. Birov with AC Milan was fantastic. You had Klinsmann with Inter, Matthäus with Inter. So we've had a lot of not many German players, but we've had some German players come to Italy, and usually they always do really well in Italy. German players have a history of doing really well in Italy. I am not that excited about this player. I know that we have Nathan thinks he's a great player. There are other people that are part of this community that think that he's a really good player. I wouldn't personally. I think Leao is a diamond, and this is his year. I do see Leao doing well in Dortmund. I don't want to see that though. I would rather keep Leao and keep Brandt in Dortmund. But let's see what happens. I could be completely wrong about this. It is interesting that Milan is after him though.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think if that were to happen, it would be Lucas's worst nightmare because he wants to keep Leao and he really hates Brandt. And I would agree. I don't really like Brandt, but I know there's people that will say that, of course, he had better years in his career and people that watch him. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I would prefer other options, and I wouldn't give Leao away in this just for Brandt. So we'll see what happens.
All right, cool. And I see some guys are asking questions. Guys, as soon as Antonio finishes with his news, with his transfer news, we're going to get to some of these questions. It's not going to be a long live today, but we are going to get to some of these questions. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, there's not too much amazing news. There's a lot of confusion. Just to summarize today's news, and it's weird because we thought that we'd see more contacts for Vlasic starting today, but we're not sure. We haven't seen any reports about that. And, it's kind of confusing. I think Milan are trying to figure out the best path for their forward players to try to pick new players to reinforce the attack. Of course, they're trying to save money. They're not going to be spending too much money. So they're seeing what they should do. They're analyzing, I think. But the next player is not a forward player. It's just another like piece of news that this player we've been linked with before. He's a midfielder, and he'd play holding midfielder. It is Boubacar Kamara, and he's
Okay.
the Marseille midfielder. Um, he would he's an option because his renewal is very difficult, and the president of Marseille has confirmed that. So
All right.
that's just
So
the
this
midfield
would this would be to add to basically Kessie, Benacer, Tonali, and what about Pobega? Anything about Pobega? Because Pobega is still kind of in between. He might go, he might stay. We don't know.
Yeah. So today, like it changes. The news comes out every day, and it changes. But now there's some news sources that are saying he could be sold, but I think there's been stronger sources that say that he can stay, that he'll probably stay. So I think if he leaves, it'll be on loan again. I don't think that they're going to outright sell him, but they do want to make some profits. So I think Hauge is looking like he's going to go, but I don't know if they're going to be fully selling Pobega, and I would hope not. So as of now, there's not too much updates, but there's more of a chance that he stays either on loan or at the club than we outright sell him. As of now.
And again, we need to have more than just Pobega for that January period in which we're losing our players for the AFCON. So maybe we can keep Pobega and have Kamara. You know, it's okay. Yeah. It's okay to be stacked. It's okay to be stacked, guys. Sorry, Antonio. Before you go, listen. Look at the Champions League teams. Well, in the past, I'm not going to talk about Chelsea because I don't know, but look at the teams we had in the past. Look at who we had on the bench. We had players on the bench that could be first-team players any other team. If you look at Real Madrid's bench, it could be a first team and do well in any league. So we need to get stacked. We need to be stacked. Let's have 5 midfielders and let's park him on the bench, and then when we need him, we have quality coming in.
Yeah, I just thought of an interesting point about Pobega, and I can maybe see him as a Krunic. I mean, obviously he's better than Krunic, but replacing Krunic if we were to get rid of Krunic. I'm not saying this is going to happen whatsoever, but I remember we were talking about Krunic and why Pioli likes him, and I think it was Rohit who said that because he runs a lot, and we talked about how Krunic works hard and he covers a lot of kilometers. And one other thing, though, that we didn't really get to touch on is that Krunic can adapt he can play holding midfielder, he can play number 10, and he can play on the left wing if we need him to. So he's adaptable. And I can see Pobega adapting to these different roles. So I think we can maybe see Pobega be like this. We could keep him to kind of fill in different cracks along the season that we have, and
Absolutely.
I think he'd definitely play well in all those positions. So.
Gotcha. All right. Okay. So cool. So Kamara, it could be a possible solution. All right. Anything? What else?
And then I'm sure you guys talked about this yesterday, but I just want to repeat it because it's like a confirmed signing. The defender.
We got official news, guys. We have some official news. Yes.
It is his name is Clinton Makengo. He's 17 years old, French defender from Nantes in Ligue 1. And he will join the Primavera. Everything is completed. He just final details, but it's a done deal, basically. So
awesome, guys. Milan is building its youth team. Finally, Milan is building its youth team. The youth team will be competing in the Youth Champions League, so we will need a strong team. And all these players that Milan is buying today are the stars of tomorrow. So this is excellent news. This news I like a lot. A+ to AC Milan for this.
Yeah, and then that's it for what I have for transfers, but I can definitely, if anyone has questions about players, we'll talk about them. And then I did want to say that the next friendly is this weekend against Nice, so that will be the next game to look forward to. And this is going to be a much faster paced game at a higher level since Nice are a League 1 side. They're coached, they have a good coach. Christophe Galtier is the Lille coach from last year that won the league, and he's Nice's coach now. And also Magnan will be familiar with him. He was his coach. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play. But and I think they will be playing in Nice, in France. So that game will be interesting.
Yes. Yeah, it's definitely going to be more competitive. Obviously, when you have these friendlies of from teams from different countries, all teams that are in the first top tier domestic leagues, it's going to be competition. Nobody wants to lose these games, even though these are friendlies. These are not really friendlies, okay? These are not
Yeah.
really friendlies. Milan does not want to lose against Nice. Milan does not want to lose against Real Madrid. Milan does not want to lose against Valencia. Milan does not want to lose against Panathinaikos. So, yeah.
And so I'm just also, if I see news, I'll keep updating you guys. I just got an article, but before I talk about that, yeah, so like you said, this is probably going to be a more serious game. Milan doesn't want to lose. But also, I'm interested to see if the formatting is different because we're going to be playing, I think, in their stadium. So I don't know if it's going to be like the recent friendlies. Milan has like changed their whole team in the halves, and they've kind of broken the rules a bit with substitution.
Yeah.
So I think this game is going to be more like an actual game. I would assume so.
I think we're still going to see the youngsters come in. We're still going to see that. And this is good because this is where we're going to see whether or not these youngsters are worth something. Because again, the pressure is going to be high. It's going to be pressure high. Really curious to see what Maldini does against Nice. Very curious to see what what's his name, Broback, if he plays. Very interesting player. Very interesting to see what Pobega does if he's playing. Very interested to see what Balotelli, how he plays. Colombo. Against Nice, Valencia, I'm more curious to see what the youngsters do because that's going to be more revealing than anything else. Then we know how Theo plays and all the other guys play. So, yeah.
Yep, and we will basically have our full team. We should have our full team as of now for this game, except for maybe Kaio if he gets extended rest, but I think he should still be back. So, okay, and then the article that I just got, this is definitely I'm just going to call this right now. This looks very suspicious.
We got fake news coming in. What is it?
Because it comes from the player's agent. So when a player's agent says stuff, most of the time it's just to get attention or just to try to get competition for the player. But the agent of Getafe defender Eric Cabajo, in the La Liga, has revealed that his client has a good chance of playing for Milan. This is Sempre Milan. They just posted this.
Who's this player?
His name is Eric Cabaco, and he's a 26-year-old center back. But he can play right back, and he plays for Getafe. But this is a really good chance. This is a hoax because it's the agent. So
the agent is just trying to promote the player, put the player a little bit in the news. But again, there's also this thing about Romagnoli. We don't know what's going to happen with Romagnoli. So it is I'm pretty sure Milan, kind of like how they did with Donnarumma, when they lost Donnarumma, they already have a replacement. I'm pretty sure Milan is already looking to see what happens with Romagnoli, and they have replacements in order. That could be it. But yeah, I agree with you. This seems more like the agent trying to promote his player.
Yeah, and there's also two new articles that I'm just seeing now, and it's one that one's about extending Kaio's contract because it's not a long-term contract. So they're going to probably try to extend it until 2024. And the other article is about apparently Spezia want to meet with the Milan management to loan Pobega again. So,
wow. Well, okay, listen, if we loan out Pobega again, okay, so that means that he's going to do one more year at Spezia and he's going to play a lot. Good for him. Good. But we need him. Let's see if he gets loaned out, so be it. What can we do? But we just need to get him back. Like then next year is done. He's 23, no more loans. He comes back to Milan, he stays with Milan.
Yep, I agree.
Any other pieces of news?
No, and if there is, I will interrupt and just state them if they come.
All right. Okay, guys, so now we'll spend a little bit more time with the chat here, just engage with you guys for a few minutes. Before doing that, I just want to show you the polls that we put up on RossonARI TV and the results of those polls. So let's start with this one right here. Hold on, let me get rid of this comment. So, players currently linked to Milan, including some reports that claim these deals are almost in the bag, which today seem to be hoaxes or whatever. Which player would you be the most excited to see in a Milan jersey? And you can see out of 92 votes, Kvaratskhelia gets 33%. Insigne comes second with 28%. Ilicic, the player that is the most linked with Milan, is only 5%. Kaio Georgia 15%. Brandt 18%. So that kind of gives you an idea of where some of our community is as far as which players they want to see at Milan, which player they're excited to see at Milan. Here, this one here is regarding Pobega. Should Milan keep Pobega or sell him? Pobega is not good enough for Milan. 1%. I wonder who that's. One person said that. I wonder who. You're in the chat right now. Reveal yourself. The one Pobega will be future star for Milan and Italy, keeping 82%. Unfortunately, it doesn't fit the system. 6%. I know Reed voted for that. If Milan sell him, I'll be very angry. Keep him. 11%. That's what I would have voted. But I see that he will be a future star for Milan and Italy. Out of 109 votes, 82% by far. Okay, then the last poll. Would you want AC Milan to? Who would you want AC Milan to buy for the cam position? This was 4 days ago. 169 votes. The names that were tied to Milan back then were Sabitzer, James, James Rodriguez, Vlasic, and Isco. Vlasic with 53%, Sabitzer with 20%. It is interesting that the two youngsters got more votes than the two veterans. But neither Isco or James are nowhere close to the end of their career. They're still youngsters. They're barely hitting 30, so still a lot in them. But Vlasic gets 53% of the votes. So that gives you an idea where we are and who our RossonARI TV subscribers want to see. All right, let's look at the chat a little bit. So I saw earlier Anwar asked some very interesting questions. Let me see if I can find a question he asked. Okay, let's start with this one here. Do you think it's better to spend 40 million on Berardi or an almost free deal for Ilicic? Then go keep that money for a striker or a winger like Brandt. I say spend 40 million for Berardi because Berardi is a top player. And with Berardi, we have a player that we can have for the next 10 years, 27, right? Well, not 10 years. He's 27. So you can maybe 6 or 7 years, a player that can score lots of goals, a creative winger, a super player. So yeah, Ilicic, no way. I would not sacrifice Berardi for Ilicic. So that's my opinion. What do you think, Antonio?
So I wouldn't. Okay, would I rather spend 40 million on another player? Maybe, but the options that he gave us are Ilicic, and because he's almost free. So if we were to take Ilicic for free and then keep the money for another player, I don't see Milan signing another striker that's worth a lot of money because we signed Giroud and we have Ibra this year. So we're going to get a really cheap young third striker. So that's really not a possibility. And then a winger like Brandt, I don't really like him too much. And I would prefer to – I would rather spend money on a better right winger. So I guess I'd have to go with 40 million on Berardi for this one.
Yeah, and also Anwar says, get an Ilicic, and then so then we can get Brandt and spend that money on Brandt. No, even for Brandt, I would spend the 40 million on Berardi rather than for Brandt. Each year says, did he convince in the Euros? Yes, very much. Okay, so now other comments. Let's see. Here there's Eastbourne says there's news about Pobega. Milan have set a price around 11, 12 million, and any team pays for that, they will let him go. Well, that is not good news. That is definitely not good news. Let's see if I can find any other interesting comments. Here we go. Watch Man U spending around 90 million for Sancho and Varane for around 50 million, while Milan is spending 1 million for Giroud. The level here, that is a very good, interesting dichotomy of worlds, right? Manchester United just spent 140 million for Sancho and Varane, and here we are spending 1 million for Giroud, 2 million for Ilicic, and we want to fucking sell our youngsters. Eastbourne, this fucking comment just pissed me off. It just pissed me off. All right. Because it's true. It pisses me off because it's true. It is true. How are we going to compete? This is I don't want to get into it. We'll save it for another time.
Guys, the article that Eastbourne talked about with Pobega, it didn't say like if 12 million comes in, we're automatically going to sell them. It's like they said it was a possibility. So I personally think that unless they get more money than that, they're just going to either keep him or loan him out. So I don't know. I don't know if he's. I don't see us getting rid of him unless we get a big offer for him. So
yeah, I let's see how he does. He needs to impress in these preseason friendlies, and then Milan will be like, okay, fine, we won't let you go. We'll, Jen Seal says Ilicic was mentally lost last season. Ilicic does have a lot of problems when it comes to his psychology, so that is one thing that we got to watch out for. Honestly, I'm not liking this direction. Giroud and Ilicic. I thought we were supposed to be a club that was aiming for the future. We're getting players that are just going to be available for 1 or 2 years. Yeah.
Well,
all right.
Guys, Ilicic is not, like I said, he's not. It's not like it's like a done deal for Ilicic. Like the news is most likely fake. It's not like we're gonna. That's why I don't think that we're gonna get Ilicic unless we really can't get anyone else, and we need somebody for free. I think we're gonna get other players, and we're looking at other players, and he's like a last option for us. So don't worry. I think Milan is gonna get some younger players for sure.
Okay. All right. Let me see if I can find some other interesting questions. Let's see. A lot about Brandt. A lot about Brandt. So there's a big discussion going on with Brandt about Brandt. Okay. So we have a new question here. Do you think our squad has improved as compared to last season? Mayank, I have 2 answers for that. Yes and no. No, because we lost the Messi of all goalkeepers, which is Gigi Donnarumma. So in that respect, no. And no, because we are not purchasing players that are coming in that are going to change the face of Milan, like Ibrahimovic. When Ibrahimovic came, that revolutionized Milan. So no for that respect. I mean, at least for now, we'll see what August brings. If in August we can bring some big players that can change the face of Milan, that can bring something really big to Milan, we'll see. But as far now, when it comes to the transfer market, absolutely not. We are definitely going down. The stock is going red. It's not going green. But I say yes because the players that were key players last season for us were all youngsters. So now they're 1 year older. They have 1 year more experience. So that is a big yes. Theo Hernandez, 1 year more of experience. He's still a youngster. Calabria, 1 year more of experience, still a youngster. Kessie is a youngster, guys. Kessie is still a youngster, even though he plays like a veteran. He is still a youngster, so 1 year more. Leao, 1 year more. Brahim Diaz, 1 year more, etc., etc. So we are getting. So it's a yes as far as that, because our team was stacked with youngsters, and now they have that 1 year extra. As far as the transfer market, no, downhill. That's my thoughts on that. Do you want to add anything onto that, Antonio?
Yeah, I'd have to see like a full list of everything we've done so far, but off the top of my head, I would say as of today, we are slightly worse just because we did downgrade like goalkeepers, but I will repeat, I love Mike Mannion, so I don't think it's as big as other people think it is. But still, it is. We did not improve in that position, but we did improve by solidifying our defense, like by getting a backup left back, and we are working to renew Kessie. And if we get a player that's better than Hakan, and it's not too hard to find, because Hakan isn't that special. But if we get a player that's better than him, then I think we'll be like at least level to where we were last season, and we can always improve by getting a better right winger. So yeah, I think we'll probably improve by the end of the mercato.
Yeah, I agree with that. Great question here from Gensil DeMello. He asked, Roy, do you consider our backline and double pivot top 5 in Europe as a collective? Okay, let me just say this. If you ask me, and again, I don't want to bring up the past. I know it might piss some people off, but whatever. If you ask me, Donnarumma, Teo Hernandez, Tomori, Kjaer, or Romagnoli, Calabria, Kessie, Benacer, I don't say top 3, as top 5, I say top 3. Now, the fact that we lost Donnarumma, but we still brought in a really good goalkeeper, a keeper that had excellent stats, a keeper that is very reliable, I think we lose the top 3 spot, but we're still in the top 5 spot. Yes, 100%. Gensil, I think that position there, we are top 5 in Europe, 100%. Actually, let me say this. Sorry, Antonio. If we still had Donnarumma, I would say top 2. All right, go ahead.
I would just say Benacer in his prime, like when he's playing the best, and definitely top 5 and probably top 3. But recently, Benacer is not. He's kind of lost his consistency, and I hope that he really picks up form by the start of the season, because in the first half of this past season, before he got injured, he was playing so well. He was doing a lot of blocking and controlling the top of the box. And if you watch a lot of the games, we've conceded stupid goals when the wingers of the other team will push the ball or will cut the ball back up to the top of the box, and then someone will just shoot an open shot like Ribery and Veretout. I just remembered 2 examples where shots from the top of the box. But Benacer was covering that area so well when he was in his prime form, but we need to bounce back. So,
but do you consider him in the top 5 or top whatever?
I would say yes. I'm thinking of other teams now. PSG, just to name one, they have. Well, he said actually double pivot also. So, I mean, Verratti is not really a pivot player. He could be, so it's kind of weird to think of like a 4-2 specifically. So I would say definitely top 5 and probably top 3. But we have to see what other teams rock like a 4-2 and compare. So.
Okay. All right.
I just one last thing. I do know that Bayern have Kimmich and Goretzka when they're healthy to play those 2 positions. But their backline isn't as, I would say our backline is better. And I'm sure if you talk to a non-Milan fan, they would think that we're crazy. But if you watch our defense of Hernandez, Tomori, Kjaer, and Calabria, it's perfect. I think it's a perfect balance of speed, maturity, at offensive, defensive, so it just works out really well.
Yeah, the great thing about this upcoming season is that a lot of people outside of Italy do not know what Milan is all about. So, man, will they be surprised. Let's hear. Okay, Rohit has a very interesting piece of news here regarding Juventus. Juventus sent an official letter to Santos informing them their desire to find agreement for Kaio Jorge. Milan have an agreement with the player. Benfica have an agreement with Santos. Okay, so that is pretty much what you were saying earlier. Okay, excellent. All right, let's see if we have a few more. Not many teams. Lucas says not many teams play with a double pivot. That is true. Not many play with a double pivot. Nathan says not many play a double pivot because this formation is more defensive minded first. Youssef says Theo is in Paris. We don't like that. Why is he in Paris? He shouldn't be in Paris.
I thought he was in Spain. I think Gigi's still on vacation, so I'm not sure if he's in. It's definitely not in Paris. I think they were on vacation by the water and by the Mediterranean. So I don't think he's in Paris.
Okay, so Anwar says Ziyech is very achievable. Elliott needs to help Maldini out. The guy needs some sort of financial boost, at least 20 or 30 million, and risk it a bit. Now, Ziyech wages are much higher than people say they are, right? Like he's yesterday, I can't remember. Someone said his wages are quite big. It's not in the Milan category of wages. Do you have any information regarding
his average salary with Chelsea is 5.2 million pounds. So it's more in euros. So it's not like incredibly expensive like other stars, but it's still an expensive contract for Milan especially. But if we were to get him, he'd have to decrease his wages, obviously, and if we'd have to pay Chelsea. So it's difficult, but I don't know. He's looking like the most reasonable option for late in the Mercato because there could be some options with him, but I don't know. This is crazy. Anything could happen with any of these players. So we have to wait for more concrete news.
Lucas responds to Nathan saying, no way a 4-man attacking system is defensive. And then here we have so Anwar asking for more involvement from Elliott. You know, it is true that these teams that have these presidents that are very involved in the team, we saw it with Berlusconi, we see it with Abramovich, we see it with PSG, Man City. These teams that have these very ambitious owners seem to get more out of the teams that don't. Juventus in Italy with the Agnelli family. You know, so let's see how long this Elliott thing will last for Milan. Hopefully not too long, because eventually I would like to see Milan be owned by a very ambitious, crazy owner that wants to win everything, because that seems to be one of the best formulas. But we are definitely on the right path. We're definitely on the right path, and we are going there. It seems like the work Elliott is doing with Milan is going to lead to a possible solution similar to that. But I do not see Elliott being a long-term thing. I just don't see it, because it's not how this company functions. It's not their business. They're a hedge fund. So for them, it's all about raising the stock of Milan, and then when the time is right, sell it to the right buyer. Anything else, Mr. Antonio?
Yeah, I would agree. I think I disagree with what you said, or I just agree because, you know, I've said it a million times. Our owners are not going to spend a lot of money on players like other owners will. That's just one of the reasons why we can't buy big players. And I think once we make Champions League and once we keep staying in Champions League, our club value is going to increase by a lot. And then I think we can maybe see someone else try to buy the team, and because then Elliott will make a big profit off of it. So that's what I think will happen.
Yes. All right, guys, this was an excellent episode of AC Milan News on Mondays. Guys, every Monday, AC Milan News is going to be live, but most of the times, AC Milan News will not be live. Usually, we're going to record AC Milan News and then have the lives. But, guys, stay always. One more reminder. We have a Milan chat room, guys. We have a Milan chat room. So if you guys want to continue your conversations and you want to continue your dialogues, you can head over to the Milan chat room. It's going to be there forever, just sitting there on the RossonARI TV channel. So just letting everybody know that if you guys want to keep your dialogues going, you can go there. It's free. Actually, in order to use it, you got to be a subscriber. So that's the only thing. Other than that, guys, please like the video. Please like. It really helps out with the algorithm. It just brings everything together. Lucas asks, please don't make recorded Milan news videos, please. Lucas enjoys the lives. But we are. Yeah, go ahead, Antonio.
The only problem with doing lives is that some days when we don't have as much time, it's harder to like we'd have to ignore chat because we have like schedules and things like that. So
yeah. Right. Yeah. But guys, stay in touch for the other lives we do. We have Let's Talk Milan, the Milan Forum, Red and Black Sundays. So we have a bunch of lives that we are long format lives. Other than that, guys, everybody, thank you very much for being here today. We will see you later. Antonio, the transfer guru, thank you so much. We will see everybody later. Ciao.
Ciao.